Hi, today I'm going to do a Clemence Poesy look because I've done her makeup lots of times and I've had so many requests to recreate different looks that I thought I would do it. I'm going to do the look quite similar to the one I did for her for Vogue. But I know lots of people requested the look I did for her for Glamour, so I'm kind of doing a mixture of the two, I guess, and just a very sort of typical Clemence look. She is incredibly beautiful, and I did write on my blog recently that she's my sort of girl crush because she's just so lovely and such a lovely, pretty but very natural girl, and she's always nice to make up. She is a bit of a makeup artist dream as well in terms of colouring because she has that very, very pale but golden skin. And the hair, which is very sort of cafe au lait, it's very soft, muted, sort of minky blonde. And then the very, very pale blue eyes. It's a really chic, natural palette that she's got. And I've always found when I've worked with it, I don't want to overpower that. I want to work with her natural colouring. I kind of love to keep that uniformity and everything kind of in one palette. So I am going to start with my base. I've used different bases on. I've used Chanel Vita Lumiere Aqua. I've used Vita Lumiere. The last time I used Chantecaille Just Skin, which is a tinted moisturiser because she has got really great skin. And today I'm going to use, I haven't used this on Clemence, but it's the kind of invisible looking thing, very natural looking base that I would do on her. And it's the Invisible Fluid Makeup from Estee Lauder. And this is their brand new one. And it's rather like a lot of these new generation foundations, but it needs a really good shake up because it's water-based. Like all of these water-based, quite liquidy foundations, I find fingers are the best for applying. And just give it a really nice, simple rub in. It does instantly go a bit darker on your skin from how it looks when it comes out of the bottle. So it looks incredibly pale there. And then as you rub, it kind of blends out, so you would need to go to the counter and have a try on of that for sure. But you can just add almost as much as you like and just keep rubbing, and it looks so invisible, exactly as it says on the skin. Even when you go over areas where there's large pores, which is me here, you don't get any kind of sitting in the pores or emphasizing the pores. I'd say I'm someone that doesn't like foundation all over my face, but I could definitely put a thin layer of this all over and not really look like I've got any foundation on at all. And then you can go back into areas that you need to and add a little bit more. Very, very nice foundation. I think this is going to be a big hit. It's very light for an Estee Lauder foundation. It does kind of make some of their existing ones feel quite heavy, but for anyone who loves that kind of almost like no makeup, but you've got coverage at the same time. And I think this is the way all foundations are going to go. It's going to become just more and more second skin-like this. The finish is not too dry, but it's not oily either, so it's sort of just like as if you've put a little bit of moisture on, like you've got natural skin. And I'd say it'd be good for, most skin types, to be honest. It's neither oily nor greasy nor drying, so it's really good. Whenever I've done Clemence's makeup, I've used a peachy blush, and this really caught my eye, which is the new Clarins Instant Light, kind of creamy, liquidy bronzer in a little tube with this doe foot applicator. And I haven't used it before, but I just love the lipsticks that they do in this range. So I thought I was going to like this too. It's got a little bit of shimmer in. It's got some multicoloured shimmer, so it's got sort of like lavender and different almost iridescent pearl in it, which I think will sit really well on the skin. And I tend to like shimmer more at this time of year, sort of winter. I don't like a lot of shimmer on the skin in the summer because in strong sunlight you can see it all glittery on your skin. But I think at this time of year, when there's a very dull light out, it's sort of very radiance boosting. This is just so easy to use. And it feels very, very smooth and creamy. Before I do my under eye concealer, I'm going to use the Chanel palette Cassia Beige, which is a shade palette that I've used on her a few times. And I love those sort of goldeny browns with very, very pale blue eyes. I think they look very pretty. So I'm going to start with the golden shade all over the lid. I'm going to use the same brush and use the least shimmery brown, so it's not completely matte, but it's not too shiny. And come into the outer corner and also into the socket with that shade. Then going back in with the gold shade, go along very softly underneath. And still need to conceal under there, so. And then the dark brown shade again at the outer third underneath. Next I'm going to use the darkest brown shade, which is slightly shimmery. I'm going to use that just along the lash line. You can dampen the brush with this if you want to as well. A little bit into the lashes as well. Okay, so next I'm going to use some under eye concealer. I'm going to use some Clinique airbrush. Just patting that concealer in. Then I've got June, must say I've got June nail polish on Chanel. A nice peachy shade. So next I'm going to curl my lashes. And put on mascara. I'm using Ico Skinny Brush mascara in black, which is great. Don't need a lot. It's a very quick payoff. So lashes on. For brows, Clemence has got beautiful natural eyebrows. They don't really need much done to them. I'm to keep mine looking nice and light. I'm going to put a couple of strokes, that's all, of my Suki pen. So I'm not really doing any filling in. I'm just adding a couple of hairs here and there so they stay full. But I'm not going to darken them or really change them at all. So they're really natural. And next I'm going to do a tiny bit of concealing. I'm going to use my Laura Mercier Secret Camouflage with an eyeliner brush and do a tiny bit of concealing here and there, around my nose a little bit. Clemence just naturally has that kind of cool, relaxed sort of Parisian thing going on, and I think she always looks best when she's kind of really natural in her makeup and hair, and you know, she always dresses really sort of casually, but it always looks great. So it's not about a big makeup number. For the lips, I'm going to use the shade that I used on Clemence for Vogue, which was in my palette, and it's the Revlon Matte 001. I think it's called Nude Attitude. And it's a nice beigey shade. I'm going to pat that on. I chose this shade because it just worked so well with her colouring again, and having the sort of shading around the eyes with the brown and the sort of shimmery peachy cheek. If you need to use a little bit of nude pencil with this, you can, but again, it's not really a big lip kind of look. It's more of a relaxed nude lip. Obviously our colouring's very different, as you can see, but I quite like this shade. And then I have used highlighter on her before. I've used the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector, but I think because this little Clarins one has got quite a lot of iridescence in, I sort of almost don't need to add any more, because it gives colour but also gives kind of a sheen as well. So I'm not going to add any more of the any kind of highlighter. I am going to put a touch of bronzer on, however. I'm going to use a slightly shimmery bronzer. This is a Marks and Spencer's one, just to give a tiny little bit of shape. So I've often used just a small amount of bronzer. So that's the finished look, and it's definitely quite a relaxed relaxed look. It's not a sort of makeup-y look. It's not a sort of red lip and a liner. It is the look that I tend to do on Clemence because it's very tonal. It's very biscuity, which I think works so well with all her colouring. And it does work well on lots of different skin tones. You can just adapt the shades, obviously go a bit richer or a bit deeper if you've got deeper skin colour. But yeah, I do love this kind of tone on tone, sort of nudie lip colour with the soft browns around the eyes and the very sort of peachy cheeks, and everything becomes sort of biscuity, and I do love that look. So I think it's very relaxed looking. So that's the look, and I hope you like it. Thanks for watching.